Welcome back, Lisa Renna. I've missed you so much since your family packed their bags, loaded them in your mouth, and skipped town.
And does it match the blood you found inside Mr. Simpson's Bronco?
Yes, it's all from the same individual.
Then you mean all this time we could have been friends?
Judges your score.
Tell us what you don't like about yourself.
I'd like to go to Dreamland.
I'll take you there.
Who are you?
I'm Constance Langdon, and this is my fucking house.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ryan Murphy Project, a podcast, an in-depth look at the life and career of one of TV's most prolific showrunners. I'm Eric.
And I am Andrew.
Andrew, we made it, bitch.
We're here.
We're finishing our spooky episodes in November.
Ooh.
Twist.
Yeah. I bet you guys didn't expect that shit to happen. But you know what, also, if anything,
What?
I just don't like how on Halloween spooky ends, because Halloween kind of feels like fall, autumn.
Absolutely.
To me. So I'm just like, oh, this could end. I could still watch. I really like scary stuff, so it's like I could still watch scary movies.
Yeah, it's not like we're putting it out in December. Or will we?
It's like, don't even not promise that.
So welcome back to the show. Thank you for listening and sticking through our little gaps. It's been a very eventful, October into November. We're recording this 2 days after the presidential election.
Yeah.
We still do not know who the new president of the United States will be. Though we do feel it will be Joe Biden, hopefully. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Twists.
I know.
2020 is all about twists. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about American Horror Story, Season 1, Episode 4, Halloween Part 2.
Part 2.
We just did Halloween Part 1, however many weeks ago.
Right.
And we're excited to bring you Part 2 now because it is, again, together, I think, some of the best episodes of the series as a whole. This episode was written by Tim Minear, and it was directed, as was Part 1, by David Semmel. So, little interesting tidbits about the show there for you. Interesting was the wrong word, but those were facts.
How did you feel about this episode, second watch around?
I remembered a lot more of it than I thought. I don't remember the last time I watched this episode, probably like 4 years ago, and I remembered a lot of it more than I thought I would. So that's just goes to show you how impactful it was the first couple times I watched it.
Yeah, I think it's impactful too, because there's so many times I'm just like, this is so what I think is American Horror Story. From
Absolutely,
like the editing, the twist, or like what sort of caliber I put it up on all the time, and then like no other season except for some like really hit it. And I was like, God, because this episode I thought was so good, such a good balancing of the characters, so Halloween.
Yeah, so Halloween. I mean, it's called Halloween. Something that's very American Horror Story about it, though, is the fact that there's so much going on in different rooms of the house. We've talked about that before. But so much so in this episode.
How are we gonna even talk
calls
about
are just
it?
Coming from different rooms in the house to other people in the house.
Everybody's just popping up out of nowhere, and they're like, okay, we're going here for like just a 2-minute scene, and then you and I are
Everybody
going to talk about
there.
it. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Lord.
Okay, so before we get into the episode, I just want to give a little preview into our schedule. See, we know our schedule. We just don't know when it's going to happen.
Yes.
We're always true to like what we're doing next.
Yeah, no.
We don't deviate there much. So this is the last in the series of, we did a chunk of American Horror Story and Glee episodes because they have so many. We want to plow through a few. So this is the last of that. Mm-hmm. And then our next episode will be a watch-along episode of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, so that we can get a feel for the original Nurse Ratched before we jump into the Ratched series.
Okay.
So people will be able to listen to the podcast as they watch the movie if they would like, and we will watch the movie together and record our thoughts in real time.
Imagine
we'll
that.
see how that goes.
We're like, because we're so unfiltered on this podcast to begin with. Imagine that.
We're just gonna have to cut out chunks of, because we'll be silent at some points. We're not gonna talk all the way through it.
Yeah, no.
So we might just have to cut more silence into it.
Especially
to
when we
pretend
just
that
like
didn't say
start
something
talking shit. I know.
Yeah.
Like, guess who texted me on my birthday?
And then we'll watch the Ratchet pilot. We'll finally dive into that. You've already seen it. I have not.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are going to jump back to the beginning of the cycle with Popular.
I can't wait to get back to Popular. Maybe like we will
know, it
be
feels like so long ago.
totally different feeling about it.
I don't hate it. I'm excited.
That was like, I don't know, 2020 months ago. So
That
that's
was like, that was like July.
yeah.
Wow.
So that's a long ass time.
So those are the next few episodes, and we are excited to get back to Popular and get back to the beginning of the cycle. Nip Tuck, Scream Queens. We've missed those bitches. So
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So this is the last American Horror Story episode for a little bit.
Wait, on the next cycle, are we gonna skip them? Glee and American Horror Story?
No, I think we should just do it.
Yeah. We'll be like, hey, we're back.
Hey, it's been 6 weeks. It's okay.
Okay.
We gotta get. There's hundreds of these episodes. We gotta get through them. Plus, we know that people are here really for those two. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The other ones are just bonuses.
And then the people know what I'm really here for. 911.
911. Tim Minear,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
our boy, wrote this episode.
There we go.
Okay, so we open on this episode and we pick up where we left off in episode 4, which was Larry Harvey. Mm-hmm. We call him Harvey because we forgot his name is actually Larry. I noticed that while we were editing. While I was editing the episode.
In my notes, it's Harvey. So
yep. So we'll stick with Harvey, but it's Larry Harvey. And he's banging on the door, and Violet is inside scared, and she's backing away from the door, and we see Rubber Man behind her.
Yeah, so this is literally just where the last episode ended.
Yeah.
And it's actually just like a little bit of more of an extended scene from there.
Yeah. It's the DVD bonus episode. So then, again.
Because then from there, Rubber Man just sort of like disappears.
Of course. That's his MO.
I know, obviously. Sexy. I like the look of Rubber Man, you know?
Yeah.
Like I would have like an anonymous something with that.
Sure.
Anyways. So she goes to her room after having that little jolt, and she tries to call her dad as well. And then she can't get a hold of him. She goes to her room, and then there's something under the bed.
Yeah, we see a hand try to grab her leg. And then we hear little tap taps in the window, and we see Tate outside trying to get her attention. He says, "Meet me in the basement." So we jump down to Tate and Violet in the basement, and Tate gives her a black rose that he spray painted.
I know.
Which is so cute.
It is cute.
She says it's the first time anyone's ever given her a flower. And he asks her if she's ready for their date.
So then they go out on their little date, and then as they're doing that, Ben and Viv come back home and can't find her. So that's that. So then it's that's the extended part, the one that we just talked about that we didn't see, and then we see what we saw before. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, So they come home, they knock on the door, they can't find her. I'm sorry, and then the knock on the door, which was the reveal of last week's episode, was that Hayden is there.
Yeah, big reveal. Hayden is back from the dead, and she's at their front door. But Ben slams the door in her face and just kind of runs away. I feel like, I guess that's what I would do too. I guess, right?
I don't know. I would
like,
know.
How would you process that?
Well, because this is the thing. So much is going on all the time.
Yeah.
But then I think that I would be like, hey, meet me here. Here's $20. Like, go get
Here's
something.
$20. Clean your face.
Yeah, they play her really interesting. Like, you don't know what's kind of going on with her until the end of this episode.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how they're playing it.
Yeah, but no, I think the audience is supposed to know more than Ben.
Because she just looks like she is decaying.
Yeah.
Like the whole episode until she takes that really gross bath. Anyways, we'll talk about it.
Thank God for that. I didn't write much down about the bath, but I'm glad you have bath commentary. So Viv calls Violet, and Violet says she's out with friends, and Vivian's like, "Are you happy?" And she's like, "Yes, I'm safe," and blah 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 blah. And we see she's at the beach with Tate.
Yeah.
And they start making out.
Well, Eric, how long would that even take? Like, from where they're at to the beach?
It would take about, I mean, they don't have cars, right?
Yeah. And it's
guess-
nighttime.
It's nighttime and it's Halloween.
Is
It would take them probably at least 30 minutes.
3 minutes?
30.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
30 with a car.
Without a car, what, public transportation?
Yeah, you just gotta wait on the bus.
Because at one point, Tate runs to the beach, and I was like, man, damn.
Oh, that's right. He does.
so,
They chase him to the beach. That's right. No,
they get to the beach and they're not even panting anyway.
Yeah.
So they're kissing and having fun at the beach. So Violet's having like a nice little moment with him. So then the next we see is Vivian sort of catches Ben with a knife because Ben is kind of hyped from just seeing Hayden, and I guess that's his next reaction.
Yeah.
And then he's just
He's gonna kill her again.
Yeah, I guess. He just like grabs a knife. So then Viv, she said that she's going to go take a bath, and then they're gonna talk about him moving out.
Yeah.
Like that's sort of like her little sting before she leaves. Ben
Yep.
Ben more or less is like, I'm not moving out. I'm not giving up. And they just have this like very tense scene together.
Yeah, he's holding a knife. They go real creep.
And then we have the intro.
We go outside and Ben is looking for Hayden, and instead he finds Harvey.
I know.
And Harvey pops up out of nowhere, so Ben immediately smacks him in the face with a shovel. And then just kind of beats the shit out of Harvey because Ben's freaking out because he's looking for Hayden, and it's at this moment that Harvey realizes that Hayden is a ghost and she's stuck on the property now, and that he's scared because obviously the ghosts can and do kill people. So that's information that he knows, but Ben hasn't pieced it together yet.
No, they still don't kind of get it, and we don't really get all the rules either. Ben also is mad because he thinks that Harvey and Hayden staged this,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
which I guess kind of
he thinks he's being extorted. Like, yeah, that's the first logical thing I guess you would go to maybe, but it's a bit of a stretch. But then again, the actual reality of the situation is also a stretch. So,
but you know what was the biggest stretch of this episode? Like
what?
Was during this scene the funny like weird choice to have Ben shaking the camera as if we the audience members were Harvey, but it's just like there's some. I was like, this is a choice.
Yeah, that was a choice.
This is
I think they wanted to make it so visceral that it was just like this guy is like
at this
all
level.
this shit. I mean, at this point, any normal person would want to snap, right? So I feel like that's kind of what they were going for, but it was a little cheap, dare I say.
It did seem cheap to me. That's like
cheap.
Cheap. And we, if anything,
hashtag cheap.
We know what cheap is.
Okay? Dare I say cheap moment of the episode? New segment?
Oh man. At a certain point, Harvey basically like is kind of enjoying the beating, like the Joker, and is like, then kill me here.
Giving off big sub energy.
That's true. Interesting. And then Ben basically, I'm not playing any more games, and then he just leaves Harvey.
Yeah. Then we see the security guard show up, sexy Morris Chestnut, and he, the alarm went off because Violet left the house.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And basically, he's just checking on the alarm, and Vivian says they're okay. And then she says, I'm glad you're here. She feels safer. And they have sexy eye contact.
Eyes, lots of eyes. There's a wink and something in there. She's so overly nice to him, too. Just like very, very nice to him. It's just, we're like, oof. Yeah, she deserves that attention. God,
she deserves it with that hair. Come on.
So then we're back at the beach after that, and Violet and Tate are still making out, and now they have a fire by the beach, even though fires are basically legal in California.
Well, if they're having a fire on the beach, that means they're at Dockweiler Beach, which is even further. That's down near LAX.
Oh, Lord. They're real fucking far.
So either they're doing, but to be honest, based on the beach that they looked like they were on, I feel like they were actually in Malibu.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is 40 miles from where they are.
We're actually doing this Halloween night in Malibu. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't even think about that until you said it.
So then they're there, and then they see this group kind of coming down the dune, and
Well, first.
What did they? Did they?
What
just
I
say-
miss?
What
What
did
I
I miss?
miss?
Was it just love stuff?
Violet wants to have sex, and Tate said he's not ready because he can't get it up because of the medicine her dad gave him. But I feel like there's other reasons, and I feel like he knows that, if he were to impregnate her, it wouldn't go well for her. So he doesn't want to hurt her by having sex, but he's in love with her, and I feel like he's trying to have sex with her. So it's very confusing. Maybe he can't have sex.
I thought it was maybe because and light spoiler, but like that he is the rubber man, and in the first episode he basically raped Viv, so that's the hang up that he has or something.
I feel like that could also be a motive too.
You
Yeah.
know?
I feel like there's a lot of different reasons for this, and I don't know.
But
which
he
one
has
it is.
mentioned that I can't get my dick hard before. He said that to Ben. So maybe it's
And then the ghosts say that they haven't had sex in many years either. The kids.
But that would be the real hell. You come back as this like pseudo person, you can't have sex. God.
But the other gay couple guy is a whore.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So which is it?
Which is it?
And then sexy Moira wants to have sex all the time.
I know.
What's
Did we just find a plot hole here? I don't get it.
What's going on here?
Okay. Well, good thing that you brought that up because I missed it because I was focusing more on the
We should write down a list of questions we have for Ryan if we ever get him on the show, and it's just plot holes.
Oh wow, we would be mad
We're
disrespectful.
like, could you explain this plot hole from season 1 of American Horror Story?
Like, hold on, I need to put on my fake glasses for this, and then at some point just rub my eyes together.
He's just not even getting it. Oh goodness.
That's why I bought these
talking out of his
glasses
ass.
so I could take them off.
So then this dead breakfast club shows up, and it's all these kids who we assume, since it's Halloween, are just dressed as dead people.
Yeah.
But really they're classmates of Tate because they know him, and they start to harass them, and they say that they want to fucking kill them a bit, basically.
So in this breakfast club, we have who? We have the cheerleader, the jock, the 90s goth girl, the bad boy in the leather jacket, and then the geek.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. But they all kind of come with these Halloween passing, but not really at all. Sort of markings and bloody things and holes in the head and no jaw.
Yeah.
So,
great makeup.
Yeah, it's so good. And then I know
really
that
good makeup.
I kept on meaning to look up the cheerleader. She was in a show on MTV for a second. I'm going to look it up while you continue.
Okay. So also during the scene where Tate tells her that he can't get it up, he also mentions that he hated high school. Mm-hmm. And that's something that leads us into these kids who he went to high school with. So basically Tate and Violet run off and run away from this group of dead misfits. So then we cut to Viv and Hayden, a scene with them two where they finally talk.
Yeah, because Viv is drawing her super hot bath at this point, and she gets a phone call, and it's Hayden, because ghosts can talk on the phone. That's a rule. Or maybe at least on Halloween.
But whose phone is she using?
Oh, that's the T. That is the T. Oh God. Because then Viv had called her, so she's calling her back. And Hayden's whole thing is that she needs to know the truth in this episode. And that she matters, and she needs to know that first off that she's pregnant.
Yeah, but she doesn't tell Viv outright. She wants
No.
Ben to tell Vivian. So she wants Vivian
Yes,
to ask
yes.
him what happened in Boston. That's the crux of the episode for Hayden. She wants Vivian to find out the hard truth from Ben. And it's a real heated conversation.
Hello.
You called me?
Yeah, I did. I think it's time for us to have a conversation.
Has he told you about Boston?
Here's the thing, Hayden. I know that you might find this hard to believe, but I was your age once too, and not really that long ago. And I wasn't such a saint either. I fell in love with a married man, and I lived and breathed the fantasy that we were gonna be together forever, soulmates and lovers, and everyone was gonna be happy, and everybody lived forever. And that didn't happen, Hayden, because it never happens that way. It never does. Because what he's looking for has nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with anybody. There's something missing in him.
He found something in me he'll never find in you again. He said my face was soft like a baby, and between my thighs I tasted like raspberries and cream.
You know what I really regret when I walked in on you screwing my husband? Was that I didn't just rip your smug little face off.
Way too late for any of that now, Mrs. Harmon. Ask him about Boston.
Oh god. So then after this sort of heated exchange, Viv gets mad, and then all of a sudden she turns around and there's "ask him" on the mirror.
In the steam from her very hot shower.
Yeah. What's she
So then she freaks out because she thinks Hayden's in the house, because that's what Hayden said verbatim, was to ask him.
Yeah.
So she runs downstairs and says Hayden's in the house. Ben freaks out and goes to look for Hayden. He goes to the basement and he finds her.
Yeah.
She starts, deteriorating in front of her,
Yeah.
in front of him, and starts bleeding and coughing up pieces of her body, and she freaks out because she was thrown under the gazebo. She didn't even get a headstone. And Ben's trying to figure out what the fuck is happening, and then before he can, Harvey comes up from behind and hits him with a shovel.
So this is where I'm just like, wow, she really does look like she is decaying, and I wonder what that is too. Like, is that just her figuring out that she's dead, or a side effect of Halloween night, or is it just like her not even knowing at this point?
Well, I think it's just her. I think it's just her first return back from the dead, so she has to clean herself up from being beat,
weird.
maybe?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. No. I think that kind of makes sense, because I'm just like, because she's like throwing up blood too.
Yeah, I
So
also think that it's possible that she's doing it for dramatic effect and has that ability because they're ghosts.
So you don't think that they were trying to be like, you don't know whether she's alive or not? Everyone.
Yeah, because some people, that's the other thing, another hole, the Breakfast Club, they all have their wounds still, but Moira's wounds healed.
Yes.
So what's the deal?
And and other ghosts have healed, but then remember Nora, the old time girl. She has she has the hole in the back of her head.
Yeah, but other people have healed. Tate was shot up in the house.
True that. Ain't that right?
Ain't that right, bitch? Spoiler. It's 6 to 12 weeks.
Yeah, I actually watched that chunk because I just pressed play next. I was like, I just want to see that. Anyways. I thought her line delivery about the gazebo was really funny.
A gazebo, Ben? Not even a decent headstone? A gazebo? You thought I was gone, so you just thought you could throw me away like I didn't matter, like I never even existed? Is that what you think of women, Ben? Like they're just some disposable nothings that you can sit on top of as you casually drink iced tea?
Stop screwing with me!
You can't even really sit comfortably in a gazebo, by the way. You just can't.
No.
There needs to be what? Let me talk about gazebos.
Please, sorry. Go on about gazebos.
Let me talk about that. Yeah, because then I feel like it could be benches like a church or something. Because then sitting just around and if you're there, that big group of people, you're just yelling then. I would be mad if I was put under a gazebo too. Long story short. So Oh god.
Okay, so then we see that Ben and Harvey and Hayden are teaming up.
I know,
and
yeah.
Hayden says she's going to go after Vivian, and Larry pulls out his lighter and says, "Let me help." And we see Vivian's under attack now, and just on cue, we cut to Vivian, who peeks out her window and sees Zachary Quinto destroying her lawn.
I know.
And all the decorations on it. She goes out to confront him. He turns on her and goes after her and says, "Get out of my fucking house, and you've destroyed my night, and my boyfriend's blowing guys at bars." So it's like a lot of panic is starting to happen here in the house. Ben's knocked out in the basement. Violet and Tate are being chased from the beach. Vivian's being chased by 3 ghosts, or 2 ghosts and Harvey.
Basically. I was thinking, first, Zachary Quinto's character, Chad, said he's probably on his 4th unprotected blowjob. And it's like, you guys, do you have that right? Anyways. And then,
you don't take a breath mint before every blowjob?
You're like, ooh, you're fucking 2010 gay. Anyways, and then I'm also thinking, so there's a lot of villains, especially this episode, but overall, there's a lot working against the Harmons. And it's nice that they are heroes. Even Ben, who's the most, wrong out of all of them, that we can really root for them. And it's not just you can do it, girl, but they have all of them have fights in them. So I like that.
Yeah. Because
it wouldn't work. Because the villains can outshine them in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But they don't. But sometimes do.
And at the end, of course, So Hayden is in the bathtub that Vivian set up, and she is getting clean and spiffy.
Yeah, she's having a moment. She has candles. This is a bathtub candle moment. But then she also has some. Maybe you're right. Maybe this is her realizing that she's dead, because she also has teary eyes at some point.
Yeah.
That shot. She's just and it's just the bathtub is so gross.
Yeah.
That's gonna be hard to clean.
Blood later.
Oh yeah, I know.
Sorry, Moira. And then Larry sets a fire. And Vivian puts that out. And then we see Violet and Tate, and they come home from the beach after running 40 miles. And the interesting thing here is that this was right after Vivian was screaming about the fire, and all the ghosts were around, and she was slamming doors. And how did they not pass each other or see each other? Or Violet didn't go help her mother?
Nothing.
This is oh my god, everything's happening in one house and no one knows it. So that I thought that was funny. But then she's like, "Who were those kids?" And then they and Tate still denies that he knows who these kids are.
Yeah.
And it seems believable that he doesn't. I don't know how I feel about how he reacts, if it's real or not.
It's annoying. It's annoying to me because because we know their answer, but watching it brand new, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's maybe it seems with some of the ghosts there's a reset, and he has just blocked it out almost or something. With
or he was already possessed.
You think that he was possessed by the house to do that?
I think it's possible. Yeah.
I guess we're gonna have to see next episode in 6 weeks or something.
6 to 12. And then we see Vivian, or Hayden calls Vivian and says she loves what she did with the kitchen.
Oh my god!
And then she says, "Here, girl, and come here, girl." And we realize she's talking to Vivian's dog. So Vivian goes to the kitchen to see if she can see Hayden, and she approaches the microwave, and there's a loud explosion of blood.
I know.
So she thinks her dog was just put in the microwave.
And her dog is tiny, and so there's a big possibility. And it's oh my god! And then we cut to a commercial break, and that's one of the benefits of American Horror Story. Because then at least in this season,
you get to breathe.
Remember watching it live? Yeah, because we're oh wow, holy shit! I remember just taking taking the breaks, because they are meant for that.
So then we got the Violet confronting the ghost outside, the Dead Breakfast Club.
I know.
And
she comes out with scissors too, because she's gonna do stuff. You know,
she got to do some shit with them scissors. And basically, the ghosts kind of hint at what happened and how they want to, make Tate pay, and how she's like the fat women who marry men on death row.
Oh yeah, yeah. They berate her for dating Tate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and she still doesn't understand why fully. And then Tate appears, and this is where he runs off, and they chase him to the beach. Once they leave, Violet's watching them run away, and we see Constance come out of the shadows of the garden.
Out of nowhere.
And grabs Violet's arm and says, "Come with me." And she says, "Get off me, you crazy bitch." And she goes, "Addie is dead because of you."
I know.
It's so alarming and so dramatic.
It's so something
and wrong.
In the middle of the alley. Yeah. I know.
Oh man, but that really made me laugh.
It was. I know. I thought it was a really good moment too. So next we see Vivian going up to her bedroom, and she actually finds the dog.
Yeah.
But then she also finds Hayden too.
The other dog.
And it's a whole bunch of what do you want, Hayden? The truth. And then she's like, "Do you think that your husband is capable of murder? He's capable of adultery," and sort of thing. And she's really creepy at this point.
Yeah. But basically the point of the scene is for them to both find out that each other is pregnant, because at this point they don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is where they both find out that they're pregnant. Obviously, Hayden does not take this well.
No.
She smashes a picture of their family, grabs the glass, and starts walking towards Vivian. Cut to the next scene.
Oh, man. Meanwhile, Harvey is, he's just putting gas everywhere.
Yeah.
And this is interesting, too, because then Chad, a.k.a. Zachary Quinto, just kind of pops up out of nowhere. And he's like, "What?" All villain style. And he's like, "What are you doing to my house?" And then Harvey gets really scared at that point too. He is cowering in the corner.
Harvey is very scared of the ghosts in that house.
So yeah, and it makes sense too for his backstory. And it's just nice to see the ghost in this episode and from here on out go all out to protect the house then too.
Yeah.
From different things.
Which leads us into the next scene where Lily Rave's character, Nora Montgomery.
Yeah.
She helps Ben get untied from the basement so that he can go protect the baby and in turn protect the house.
I love the way but before she does it in her way where she's just she's like, "You're a disgrace. Wake up." But then you're a
disgusting man.
I know. But then at the end, she has a touching moment. She's like, "Save the baby," which is interesting.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that she did this. And so she's just always been about that baby then,
Yeah, she's about that baby life.
She's about that baby. So she saves him. And I was like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah. So then we cut back to Vivian and Hayden. And Hayden's getting pretty close with the glass. And she tells Vivian that she's going to cut the baby out of her because clearly Ben only wants one baby.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hers, even though, you're not going to have a baby, bitch. You dead.
That's true.
And right before she's about to stab her with the glass, Ben walks in, and Hayden tells Ben to tell Vivian what happened in Boston. So Ben comes clean and tells him everything. Tells her that he went back to Boston and had sex with Hayden.
Yeah.
She got pregnant. He went back again to do the abortion. And it's all out there on the table.
And then it's also kind of revealed in this. It's so she caught them having sex before, right? But then he went back, and that's how she got pregnant. Yes. Because it's wait, you haven't seen her in so many months, and he's just another fuck up and another lie there.
Yeah.
But then all of this kind of comes to a head because then sexy security guard pops up.
Yep.
And he's like,
and he takes Hayden, right?
Yeah.
So Hayden is out of the house for now.
For now. We then see Constance and Violet in her kitchen, and she's just she wanted to be a pretty girl. Cut to a scene of Jessica at the morgue putting on makeup as in voiceover goes over it.
Yeah, a lot of Southern riddles here.
Yeah,
this monologue. She basically talks about how when a child dies, a parent loses their immortality, whereas if a parent dies, the child gains mortality or I don't know, some sort of backwoods tribal carved into a tree bullshit.
Well, actually, it seems like this, like a sort of like supreme sort of her character arc. Like she looks at youth. Remember who she played? Cordelia? No, not Cordelia. In season 3, the Supreme.
Yeah.
She's like, I look at these girls and I see my mortality. I see like my youth fading away, and it's like a similar sentiment here of what she's saying about youth, but it's reverse. Because her daughter has died on her as a mother. Yeah. Yep, exactly.
She also calls her my little monster. But at the same moment, it's a cute scene because you see that she cares about Addie. But you also, we also, this is where Violet finds out that she's Tate's mom.
Yeah. But we didn't. Did we know this as an audience member yet?
Yes, we should have, yeah.
Okay.
And then we also see that Constance admits to Violet, whether she was sincere or not, that Tate cares about her. And I think she's starting to come around to liking Violet.
Yeah, I got that too.
Because she sees that Tate is really into her and she actually helps Tate. But she also says, don't tell Tate that his sister's dead.
Because he has a soul of a poet.
Well.
He's a sensitive
soul of a
boy.
poet. Sensitive boy. So basically she's okay with Violet because she's protecting Tate.
And she even gives Violet a cigarette, and she's like, don't tell
ciggy.
Your mother that I'm indulging your vices.
Like every grandmother ever.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. So Tate is still running at this point, and he just gets to the beach.
He's been running all night.
He's been running all night, not sweating. And then the Dead Breakfast Club is like literally right behind them. And
Tate kept up.
He just like still doesn't know what he did, you know? And then that great sort of like Kill Bill whistle music starts playing during this whole scene. And then, the Dead Breakfast Club are like, just kind of go at him verbally, really.
Yeah. So this is where we find out that they're all ghosts. She says, I should be 34 years old.
Yeah.
I should have kids. I should have been in college. I should have gotten a scholarship. This kid could have changed the world. Yada, yada, yada. But Tate, he's taking all this in and he seems like he's empathetic to the situation, but he doesn't know who these people are. He doesn't know why they're blaming him. That seems genuine to me. I forget what that is.
I think it is. Because they just
but
want
basically,
to know
they
why.
catch up and they berate him. They said they've been searching for him because he never leaves the house. So when they could leave the house on Halloween, they went looking for him, and they've been looking for years, and they finally found him, and all they want is an answer.
I know, because then we don't necessarily know if we're just watching this for the first time what he did. But before, they're like, pick up a newspaper. Ever heard of Westfield High or
pick up a fucking yearbook.
A yearbook? Like, what sort of information? This is 2010. Okay, there's internet here. What the hell?
Yeah. But Tate breaks down and he doesn't know who these people are. But clearly, I think we know at this point that he killed them. We also see in this scene some flashbacks to him at his high school with the skeleton paint on, very Columbine style. So we figure, that's what he did.
And we might see it too. So they leave him because basically the sun's coming up and they're not getting the answers that they want. So as this is
so I guess they go back to the high school.
Yeah, right. I guess so.
They must be so close though.
I actually thought that. I'm glad they have each other, not just like one of them is dead. I don't know.
Yeah. Good for them. I mean, no, but yes.
So this might be one of my favorite scenes of like all of American Horror Story is after this we see it's still morning and all the ghosts are coming back to the house. Like we have the nurses pop up in the background that got killed in like episode 2. We have Moira, Chad, Patrick, Nora. Like everyone has kind of ventured out.
The twins.
Yeah, the twins. Everyone has like ventured out of the house and they just like have to go back. And there's like this melancholy to it
Yeah.
And with like the morning sun, there's no real music, and everyone's kind of more tranced to go back, because even when like the gay couple reunite, he's like, you know, you're a slut, or you ruined my house, sort of thing. And then he's like, I'm sorry. You know, it's just like this is our fate and we're stuck in it.
Yeah.
That's how all of them feel. And I really like that.
Yeah, I agree. Because then he says something like, I feel like I'm stuck in this and stuck rebuilding this house forever.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And Morris says, you are.
Yeah, it's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah. I also love this scene. It also is one of the most iconic, I think, scenes.
Yeah, because I never
just in the world of American Horror Story.
You know, I still remember the first time I watched it, like them just walking back and me not even knowing how, you know, how that happened.
Yeah. And then we cut to Hayden in the back of the security car. And she is talking to Morris Chestnut. That's his name, right? I think so.
Yeah.
And basically just saying how he's just realizing how crazy she is. But when he gets to the station with her, she's gone.
Yeah, she just kind of ups and disappears.
Yep.
So maybe they don't physically have to go back.
Yeah, that was also, yeah, I was like, did she?
Know?
Because obviously they can disappear and reappear quickly.
Sure, yeah. But
so maybe the other people just like to walk home.
For the drama, I assume.
For the views.
For the views.
For the views. For the likes.
So he doesn't understand how she disappeared. And then,
yeah.
And then we see a sort of like, is there music in this scene? Ben basically is packing up his things in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't slept. He sees a picture of the family that Hayden smashed earlier to get a glass to try to steal his other baby out of Vivian's tummy.
Sure.
And then
metaphor, if you will, of the smashed family.
Oh,
remains.
yeah. I mean, he didn't pick it up and wipe a tear afterwards for no reason.
Yeah. Yep.
And they meet in the kitchen. They don't say anything at all. He gives her like a cute kiss on her forehead, and then she accepts it but doesn't really respond, and then he leaves.
He leaves. Bags packed. Ben is out of the murder house.
For now.
For now. We're almost halfway through season 1 of American Horror Story, and shit's really picking up.
Yeah, really. It's really fast.
Yeah, this was a very quick episode. Again, this is peak for me.
Yeah, definitely peak. Oh, my God.
And this was, again, some of our favorite episodes. A lot of iconic moments. Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode.
Well, we will see. Oh, well, yeah, let me summarize. I thought it was really great. Very American Horror Story. This is when I started, like, knowing the first time around that I'm, like, really in it.
Yeah.
It's like, I loved it so much. And then again, this is, like, what I hold American Horror Story, what they should be.
Yeah. What do you think was the not in 2020 moment, Hunty?
I don't think we had any, did you?
I mean, I think her calling Addie a monster, but it was also like a sweet nickname that I think she was using.
Yeah.
So maybe there isn't one.
Well, I'm definitely thinking
the Ryan Murphy moment.
Ryan
I think
Murphy.
is the Breakfast Club in general.
Oh God.
Taking essentially the Columbine storyline.
Yeah.
The makeup, the gore, the mystery, all of these.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
Running to the beach, all of that.
Amen.
That whole storyline section is I think the Ryan Murphy moment of the episode for me.
Ryan.
I think for me it's probably Hayden and Viv just having that like cat and mouse battle. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then like the scare, the dog, like them meeting in the room and all of that. And then Ben having to just like admit everything. That's probably like my Ryan thing.
Yeah, that was a very nip tuck moment.
Right? Yeah.
Like that's what we should call those moments, nip tuck moments, because that was the first one to do it.
But like yeah. So nip tuck. So
your nip tuck moment. Okay, cool. So that was it. That was American Horror Story, season 1, episode 5, Halloween part 2. We will be back next time for a watch along of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yay!
Very random, but very exciting because it leads into us in our premiere episode of Ratchet with Miss Sarah Paulson. So we haven't seen her yet in the American Horror Story universe.
No, you're right. Soon.
So it's time to see her.
She comes soon because Constance wants to talk to,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's the next episode, I think, right? Maybe the next one.
Hopefully.
Cool. Well, that's all we got, right?
What's that?
I think so.
Well, you can follow this podcast on Instagram at The Ryan Murphy Project. You can follow me at Mr. Andrew Leon, and you can follow Eric at I Hate Eric Wilson.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.